Smallville premiered exactly 20 years ago today, which is just crazy. To mark the occasion, let's take a look at some of the show's most memorable moments.
Previously on Smallville.
What's happening? What are you doing, Clark?
Lana.
So what are you, man or Superman?
I haven't figured it out yet.
Your real parents weren't exactly from around here.
What do you mean?
You are the last son of Krypton.
Who are you?
Lois. Lois Lane. What kind of a monster are you?
You were right about me all along, Mr. Kent. I am the villain of the story.
You okay?
I've waited for this for so long. I just don't want it to go away.
I'm not going anywhere.
We have been down a long road together, Kal-El. One paved with difficult trials. Those trials are behind you now.
Trust me, Smallville. We can make this work. Oh boy, can't we?
Hold on, you didn't think that was it, did you? Please welcome Clark Kent, Tom Welling. How are you?
Great, thank you for having me.
And we've got Lex Luthor, Michael Rosenbaum joining us as well.
Real treat, trying to figure out how to sit on this couch to look real comfortable. Oh,
When you guys started the show,
relaxed.
did you ever think that 20 years after the premiere, you would be here at a DC event talking about the show?
Michael?
You know what? Before I did Smallville, I wasn't really on any successful series. They were just sort of 1 season, 2 season. And then I saw the pilot of this. I called my mom and I said, I think I'm finally gonna get noticed in my life.
For a lot of you guys on the show, this was like the first big moment. Did you have kind of those same feelings when you watched it or when you were?
Yeah, I mean, I lacked a great deal of experience at the time.
Well.
No, I did. I mean, and at no point do they say, you're going to be here for 10 years. We just never knew. We were always just sort of grinding and trying to elevate everything we could do, and it was a team effort.
We helped each other out a lot. I remember just being on set with Tom, and either it'd be him telling me or me telling him. He'd go, do it again.
Yeah.
Ask for another.
It became a trust thing for us
Yeah.
because we were together so much. And there were also times where, like, you know, his character talked a lot. Mine didn't. There was a
Not like
time-
real life at all.
No, not at all. And I remember specifically there was a scene in the Luthor mansion where, you know, Clark just appears there. Lex turns and he sees Clark and he starts to talk and he walks over and he pours himself a glass and he comes back and he's talking to me. And literally, I think my line back to you was, and you go, that's all you have to say? Like, that's your only line? And I'm like,
I would be like, I would say these whole things, these soliloquies.
Yeah.
pages of dialogue.
And then all of a sudden, and then he'd go, so? And I'd go, that's all he has? He's got so?
Was there a moment on set for you guys where you were watching him perform and you're like, holy crap, he's Lex Luthor, or yeah, that's Superman?
I mean, you just embodied Clark. I mean, it was fitting that you hadn't done a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
It just was the perfect timing, the perfect storm. He just had that vulnerability, that innate vulnerability and that kindness and charm.
Lex obviously was ahead of the game, but saw the potential in Clark and saw that Clark didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that all sort of worked out. And one thing to remember, it was never about being Superman. It was about not knowing what your future is.
Yeah.
And a big thing for Lex was, you know, making your future what you want it to be.
Yeah.
You know, so it was a good dynamic.
But her question really was, were you in awe of me when you watched my performance?
No, not that I recall.
Over the years, there have been so many special guests on Smallville. Here are some who wanted to say hello.
Happy 20th anniversary, Smallville.
Happy 20th anniversary, Smallville.
Happy 20th anniversary, Smallville.
Hot dog, I can't believe it's been 20 years.
One of my favorite memories working on Smallville was being directed by Tom Welling. Whenever someone asks me who was my favorite director I've ever worked with, I just say Superman, obviously.
They let me do so many of the stunts, like running beside him on the train and things like that. I got to do everything playing Lionel Luthor, and I had a ball doing it.
Smallville resonated with people because it was the perfect balance of heart and drama and extremely high stakes stuff that we associate with superhero stories now.
I mean, you see people who've been touched by this show, and it helps me appreciate it.
And seeing, of course, our boy Glover up there, Lionel Luthor.
I wish he was right here.
I know. We love being around it.
If you could change anything about the show, is there a moment that you would go back and be like,
I mean, I always thought that we should have seen a Bruce Wayne. Like, can you imagine Clark barging in to your mansion and like you're talking to somebody and you're like, I'd like you to meet Mr. Wayne. And it'd just be like this cool thing. Nobody knows who anybody is.
Awesome.
That would have been great.
By the way, it's kind of cool to think that, the rest of these series like Arrow and Flash and all these things, it was kind of like it started with Smallville.
Well, I think you and I have discussed this, that it was, again, a perfect storm in that technology had literally just gotten to the point where the visual effects, the super speed and those they just didn't do that before Smallville. And that's
They couldn't.
It did set a version of a standard. Smallville is still kind of contemporary, still kind of looks cool. I mean, we're in Kansas, there's pine trees everywhere, but you overlook that.
I didn't even notice that. Now I'm gonna for sure.
And by the way, what the hell was with Lex Luthor's security? He would walk in. He would just show up and I go, Clark. Now my reaction really wanted to be, hey, did you knock?
That's true.
Hey, where's my security here?
Serious question, with the finale, what was that like for you guys getting to be like, okay, some people that we haven't seen for a little bit are gonna get to come back, we're all gonna reconnect here on the show.
A lot of people think I quit the show. And I didn't quit. My contract was for 6 years, and I ended up doing 7 years. When the finale came, the series finale, I called the writers a week and a half before, and said, I wanted to be with everybody at the end.
Yeah.
And so I showed up after not having seen Tom for like 3 years, and it was a bit emotional.
Very emotional for him.
Yes, and the first take, remember the first take, big crane shot?
Oh, yeah. Clark comes in, and the mansion's destroyed, and there's this big crane shot, big swooping crane shot, and it comes in and goes past Clark. Lex comes in. Here's Michael. Camera comes in with close up. He goes, what's my line?
What's the line?
What's the line again?
Oh.
I was like, welcome back.
Welcome back.
We are almost out of time, but before we go, let's hear some messages from some more familiar faces.
It's not every day that a series can celebrate like this, and I am honored to have been part of this iconic story.
Happy 20 years, Smallville.
Happy 20th anniversary, Smallville.
Happy 20th anniversary, Smallville. 20th? No.
It was my first real big job. It also was welcoming me into an entire universe, a world that was so rich and so loved already. It was really a privilege.
I remember arriving on set and seeing Tom, and it struck me immediately. I'm like, my God, it's Clark Kent.
We tackled some pretty serious subject matter, and then you would sort of, when they called cut, everyone's laughing and joking, and Oliver and Lex are laughing on the floor, cracking each other up. It was a really, really great set.
I am so thrilled that I got to be a part of such an iconic series, and I just wanted to celebrate with you guys. So happy 20th, Smallville. Cast and crew, thank you for having me be a part of your journey, and I'm sending everyone so much love.
Awesome. Cassidy Freeman, I remember she called me. She's probably got to be a little nervous going on to this show that's been on for years, and I just talked about how great everybody was and how comfortable she'll be.
Such a mild-mannered person, but when the camera rolled, she was a force.
Yeah.
There was a scene where she had to turn on that Luthor blood, in a sense, and I was like, oh, this girl's gonna be all right. Like, she's got it.
And it was fun. It was fun killing her in season 10. It's great.
Now, someone that I know we're missing is Lana Lang, Kristen Crook. She wanted to be here with us, but she couldn't today, so she sent a very special message.
Happy 20th anniversary, Smallville. I haven't worked on this show for 12 years now. And you both and everyone were a huge part of my early adult years. When it came out, it was right after 9/11. It was a time when people were looking for heroes. On another level, it was a story and is a story, and I think this is why it lasts. It's a story about growing up. It's a story about how you feel alienated, how you feel other, and that is a universal experience for us. And Clark Kent was that, seeing him grapple with these things that would become his strengths, give all of us the aspirational hope that those things that are weird and we can't control and seem like they make us different from everyone else are actually the things that are special about us. And I think that will resonate always.
Congratulations on the 20th anniversary of Smallville. That brings us to the end of our celebration. I want to thank you all for being here, watching us, and taking this trip with us down memory lane. And thank you guys so much for being here and chatting.
Thank you.
See you soon.